Hello, everybody, and welcome back to twitch.tv/Samodian, where we play Kingdom Death Simulator. Welcome, everybody. Um, if anybody was here for the special Black Saturday stream, that was a whole lot of fun until it wasn't. As always, though, before we kick off, have to start with our content warning. As a reminder, Kingdom Death is a very mature game, contains a lot of mature imagery, as well as descriptions and depictions of extreme violence, body horror, and physical trauma, as well as descriptions of mental trauma. So, first and foremost, please look after yourselves. If any of that is too much for you, perfectly understand. Additionally, if this is your first time here, you can check out our VODs over on the YouTube channel, where we have a record of all of our previous streams. And for the folks over on YouTube, go down into the description below and you can get a link to the Twitch channel where we are live, typically every Friday evening. And YouTube folks, really appreciate you. Had a lot of really good comments lately, so thank y'all. As a reminder, again, Kingdom Death is an incredibly taxing game mentally. It is a lot to keep track of. With multiple players, it is a lot to keep track of. With one player, it is even more. So please bear with me. I will do my best to interpret the rules as best I can at the time, but mistakes are going to be made. Things are going to be missed. I'm going to try to be as fair as possible. For anybody that's here live, we do have a regularly used chat command to remind me if I'm forgetting something. And y'all over on YouTube, please just continue leaving those comments. It is very, very helpful. We have a couple things in that regard. First of all, let's talk about the Crimson Croc. Gonna get a couple cards out here. So when we got our butts whooped by the Croc, a lot of that is because when we fought the level 1 Croc, we had this trait out of Adrenal Master. When you would gain insanity from a brain trauma, instead suffer that much damage to a random hit location. This caused a lot of damage to us. Turns out this is a bug in the automated setup. The level 1 Croc is supposed to have Adrenal Adept, which is similar. However, when you would gain insanity from a brain trauma, your body stutters in pain, instead suffer 1 damage to a random hit location. I don't think this would have made much of a difference, honestly. We were just kind of screwed in that fight to begin with. First mistake, I should have made a stone noses, but I was too excited to try out the new scout thing. So I should have used the endeavor for a stone nose. But we just got one incredibly unlucky with the AI card draws. I think 3 out of our first 4 turns were all intimidate actions. We spent the first half of the fight just trying to deal with the terrified status. And then 2 of our characters died due to the trap. So I don't think this would have made any notable difference in the fight. So we're going to keep that L on our record and just move on. But also, let's see here. Terrified. Let's talk about Terrified as well. So Terrified states, ignore any bonuses to brain trauma rolls. You are guardless. Guardless, you cannot ignore hits. When we first had this, I interpreted this as, okay, you cannot ignore hits. You can't block, you can't deflect, you can't, I think endure will also allow you to ignore a hit. I ruled this personally as dodge was still allowed, because a dodge is not ignoring a hit, it's avoiding a hit. However, there are other cards in the game that further elaborate the terrified status to say you cannot dodge or ignore hits. So going forward, we will try to remember that terrified status also means we cannot dodge. I don't recall if I dodged anything while I was terrified. If I did, didn't really make a difference. Everybody died anyway. Uh, so just try to keep that ruling in mind. And the actual like game guide dictionary errata that's online does specify terrified. You cannot dodge or ignore hits. Um, Important to that ruling is that it's saying dodge is not considered ignoring a hit. So based on the rules as written on this card, I feel I made the best decision I could at the time. But now that we know a little bit more, that's how we're going to interpret this going forward. So next time we fight the Croc, things to keep in mind. Some other things, at least for now, I'm going to be setting up the hunt events manually. It's just honestly a lot of extra work to manage what's supposed to be in and not in my deck when I'm doing the automation. So basic hunt events are just going to be rolled out manually from now on. That's fine. That only takes a moment. Any other bookkeeping? I don't think so. So we should be ready to dive on in to our first hunt of the Smog Singers. Who is joining us? Well, we got a bunch of newbies. First of all, we have Rahul. None of these survivors except one have anything special about them. Rahul will be wearing nothing and bringing along the bone darts and the bone blade. Second up, we have Francisca. Francisca, on paper, is going to be our main tank. She did get the extra +1 evasion from eating the bug last week. So she's wearing our only armor set, equipped with an axe this time around. However, since the Smog Singers are a multi-creature fight, it's kind of hard to have a main tank. But from what little I know about this fight, I don't think we need to be terribly worried about damage. Third, we are bringing Zana. I think Zana is how I'm going to pronounce this. Just with a bone blade. And then finally, Alia. Also, no, not with the bone blade. She has our crockbone hammer, our one real weapon. Yep. Don't think we're going to run up against super dense on these guys, but we'll find out. And then finally, last but not least, the hero of the Crimson Croc fight, because he ran away, is Dre. Remind me again what anxiety does? Oh, that would be bad. We don't want to do that. We got to bring somebody else. Who else do we have available? We don't have a lot of folks left. We got Albrecht or Urza. I think we got to bring Urza along. Hemophobia shouldn't be too much of a problem. Yeah. Ooh, glad I looked at that. Give me just a moment here. Urza, 1 survival. She'll have 3 movement because the Dreaded Pack gives a -2. And she has -1 accuracy, right? Yeah, -1 accuracy. 1 insanity. Is that accurate? That is accurate. She also has darkness 1. So she has +1 torment and suffer brain damage. So that probably would have been helpful against the Croc, but oh well. So she is at 0 out of 5. Cool. All right, got that handled. Everything else, she needs her waist armor. Oh, no, she doesn't have waist armor. That's right. Okay, so that is Urza. Cool. So she's not going to be doing much of anything. She's going to be hiding in the corner. Maybe picking up some resources. Okay, as for our hunt phase, let's see who is kicking us off. With a 2, that is Rahul. Oh, and we have our first Scout Hunt event. So we get to roll on a new table. Scout Hunt events. This is just a D10 with a 6. Found message. The scout discovers a message from another scout scratched into the curling lower lip of a giant stone face. It points to 2 branching paths, each leading to a monster with a distinct disposition. One a dominant specimen, the other a wounded outcast. The scout decides which to hunt. So, dominant specimen must restart the showdown with +1 damage token. If the survivors are victorious, each survivor draws 1 additional monster resource. Or wounded outcast, at the start of the showdown, the monster suffers 2 wounds. Okay. Ooh. We could really use extra resources. Do we take the risk? I think we're going to take the risk. We're going to do the dominant specimen. Let's do it. So, monster is going to get +1 damage, and if so, we will draw 1 additional. Do not let me forget that additional resource, chat. Do not let me forget that. I'm going to go ahead and click that up now. Oh, this is ballsy, but I think we're going to do it. All right, Francisca, let's see what happens here. Sudden silence. A ravine opens before the survivors. The ever-present chorus of insects and motes of song are suddenly inaudible. If a survivor has 3+ understanding, they insist on a different route. Not happening. End this event. Otherwise, a random survivor rolls 1d10. If they are deaf, -5. Well, nobody's deaf. Random survivor with a 4 is going to be Francisca. All right. Roll a d10. With a 7. With each step, your body slows down. Prevail or gain 2 strength tokens. Or gain 2 minus 2. Gain minus. That is a weird way to phrase it. It should be 2 minus 1 strength tokens. What is prevail? Survivors may find themselves in a predicament requiring a dangerous choice. Spend all of your survival or suffer the listed consequences. That's tough. I think we need the strength. Oh, do we also need the dodge? What do I do, chat? Spend all of our survival or -2 strength. So the Smog Singers are 7 toughness. So with -2 strength, she'd still be wounding on a 6. I think that's good enough for me. So let's give Francisca the -2 strength. Okay. Zana. Trial of Rinds. You notice a trail of tough, hollowed-out rinds. The event revealer decides to follow or ignore the trail. If any survivor has binge eating or gourmandist, they sway the choice, follow the trail. So follow the trail. You find a trove of unripened fruit. You mangle your hands trying to open the resistant rind, suffer 1 event damage to the arms. You see a weeping tree, its branches terminate in a tear-shaped fruit. You crack them open and share the meal. Tasty, all survivors game. Well, that would have been nice to know. Uh, so 40% chance. My survival limit's only 2, so that's only going to be +1 survival to 3 of them. Well, 4 counting Urza. Wait a second. The dreaded pack is stinky. I could have brought Dre. Oh well. I'm not going to redo it again. I think Urza is still the better option anyway. I don't think it's worth it. Especially with that +1 damage token out there. So we're just going to ignore the trail, continue on our path undeterred, which brings us to the Smock Singers. I think we've taken enough risks on this hunt. All right. This should all work out. Don't want to do that. I want to unassign sheet to assign Urza. Okay. Yeah. Let's set it up. Hello, Lantis. All right. So we have, let's make sure this set up correctly this time. Let's start there. And we got to read our little blurb for the Smog Singers. Look at them. They're so happy. Oh, he's going to get in trouble. There once was a siren that breathed life into the world with its song. Drawn by its music, many came bearing malice and greed. Yet still the siren sang, for empathy was its muse, and from such passions wove its memorable melodies. All right, so we should have 4 special things in play. Performing Artist, Song Cards, Bloody Hands, and Vibration Damage. Nope. Okay, looks like we got to do some digging. So we need Bloody Hands and the Song Cards. I know that's a special thing. Okay, figure that out in a second. Let's see what we do have here. Make sure nothing's hiding in here. Okay. Harmony cards. When a harmony card is drawn, each monster performs it 1 at a time. The monster controller chooses the order. Persistent injuries happen only once. Continue the harmony for the other monsters. The instinct does not cancel the harmony. We're going to double check some of the rules on these guys in a second as well. Vibration damage. This damage permeates, ruining armor and organs alike. Do not roll hit location dice. This cannot be dodged. Add the damage of all hits together and deal it to the hit locations of your choice 1 point at a time. After you suffer this damage, archive all your fragile gear. Is there a difference between frail and fragile? Is there a difference between frail and fragile? Oh, I forgot I can go straight to the glossary. Oops. Yes, frail and fragile are 2 different things. Noted. Also, got to make sure Urza's coming along. So we needed Bloody Hands. It's here somewhere. Oh, it was, oh. And I see some song cards hidden around. Whenever you wound the monster, you feel terrible and gain a guilt token. Okay, so everybody needs one of these. And I see a card in here. There's Song. Oh yeah, we got all kinds of hidden stuff in here. It's because I think the game defaults to the character sheets being like above or below, so it auto deals cards to the left. So we might have to change our layout a bit here. Okay, we'll put you there. We'll put you there. I think that does also technically affect the scout. Okay, that's not going to work. Right, well, that works. I might have to work on a new layout here. Okay, so spend an action to unlock your heart and start singing. Flip this card. So we got to figure out... so I think that's just something that kind of hangs out there. And I don't know what they do, so we're going to find out at some point. Urza, get on the board. Okay. So, rest of the setup. One Smog Incense terrain card set up on the center of the board. One random terrain card. We did not get a random terrain card. So I'm going to do that manually. What is this? If any survivor moves through this, they suffer damage to their body and roll a d10. On a 6+, they're knocked down coughing. Okay, so don't go through the cloud. Got it. 8 or 9's not bad. Okay, we're not going to really mess with that, I don't think. Okay, so I need terrain. Where's my terrain deck? There it is. I think there's also a terrain deck in here. I see you. Oh, that's the hand. There it is. Come on. Gotcha. Oh, is this special terrain? I think this is special terrain. Okay. So y'all can go back to the box then. All right, let's get us a random terrain card. We get an ore vein. Neat. There it is. So, ore vein, set up at least 6 spaces from all of the terrain. Got it. So we will put you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That looks good. All right, as for our setup, place the survivors in the blue or the purple zone. Survivors in the purple zone gain a guilt token on arrival. Oh, and then here you go. Deal a random song card face down. So I don't think we want to start with guilt tokens, so we're probably all going to line up in the blue. So if you're sneaking up behind them, you're going to feel guilty. So let's see. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 away in that line, and then curving. So right where Francisca is. So Francisca can stay there. Actually, I'll move her there. I'll move her there. Urza can go here so she can grab that ore. The rest of you get over here. Is that right? Yeah, just start right next to the monster. Okay. So in that case, let's put Francisca there. And then then who has the Alia that has the hammer? Okay, that's probably fine. I don't know. We're going to figure it out. All right. So again, vibration damage is a thing. Harmony. Oh, that's right. I wanted to double check exactly how these guys work. Monsters. All right. So Smog Singers, new rules, multi-monster showdown. Smog Singers introduce multi-monster showdowns. The showdown features 3 monsters, each with their own miniature that act as one collective. Smog Singers share AI and hit location, decks, wounds, attribute tokens, and perform AI cards together. They share 1 monster turn. Survivors must select 1 Smog Singer to attack. If that monster moves out of range, the attack ends, even if another Smog Singer is in range. Smog Singers have individual blind spots and field of view. The survivors' positions apply to individual monsters. They can be in one monster's facing, but not another's. So I still don't quite know how the AI cards are going to work, but we're going to figure that out. Because Harmony specifies that each monster performs it. So I'm guessing if an AI card doesn't have Harmony, then only one performs it? I don't know. I don't know. I was going to do something else and I forgot. Sam, you're forgetting things, literally. I read something here that reminded me of something, and then I forgot when I got there. Oh well, it'll come back to me, I'm sure. Let's kick it off. Let's just see. Oh, let's look at what's going on here. So we already looked at the stats. That is normal. Instinct. The monster moves 3 spaces away from as many survivors as possible and assumes a peaceful pose. The monster is knocked down. If you wound and knock down Smog Singer this round, gain an additional guild token. That's what I was going to do. I was going to get the +1 damage token. I remembered. And then their basic action, the Smog Singers look upward, mewling. Radiant smog vents from their nipples as they signal into the darkness. All survivors suffer 1 vibration damage and gain a guild token. That would be not good. Not a lot of AI cards either. Well, no, there should be 12 AI cards. Yes, there are 12 AI cards. Okay. There's just twice as many hit locations. Okay, let's kick it off. I have a feeling they're all going to say Harmony. Furthest threat in range. The monster leaps into the air, gracefully extending its limbs. Place the monster in the closest unoccupied space on the opposite side of the target. The target suffers 1 brain damage. Why are we doing brain damage again? All right, well, I'm going to start at the top of the clock and work my way clockwise, I guess. Monster in the closest unoccupied space on the opposite side of the target. Okay, so I guess that would be there. So Francisca suffers 1 brain damage. She has no insanity. Great. So this one is going to be either Urza or Jana. It's going to be standing on top of the stupid ore vein, too. All right, well, Jana doesn't have any insanity, so we're going to pick Urza. So Urza's going to suffer a brain damage. Then this one, I suppose we'll choose Alia. And Alia suffers her brain. Okay, well, that's a great start. they're all in range. Okay. All right. Well, let's beat these stupid things up. Oh God, I need to make space for Urza. All right. So let's start down here. Let's let Francisca sneak around into a blind spot. So she will be hitting on 5s. That is 1 hit. To the Singing Kidney. And we determined earlier she's wounding on a 6. Nice. Full move the monster towards the attacker. Check. If adjacent, colorful smog pours into your mouth, tears of joy stream down your face. You begin to sing, flip your card face up. Okay. A Song of Pain. When this is turned face up, remove all your guilt tokens. Okay. Your blood pulses with the song, threatening to cut out any moment. All your severe injury rolls, other than Lantern 10s, are 1. Oh. Okay. Let Alia do the same on this one. Let's get a little better view here. All right, so Alia's got the croc hammer, so she will be hitting on 6s. That is 1 hit. Okay. Writhing on the ground, the monster contorts into impossible shapes. Reroll your successful hits from this attack with -2 accuracy. Discard a hit location for each miss. Okay. So now she needs an 8 to hit. She still hits. Okay. All right, so now we got a wound. Toughness of 7, strength of 2, so wounding on a 5. So it's going to be like that again. Okay. Jana. She has the Bone Blade, so hitting on 5s. Neat. Oh my god. It's happening again. Rahul. Also hitting on 5s. 2 hits. I'll take it. Both reflexes. Okay. Okay, that's not bad. I mean, it could be. Okay. Okay. Attacker may pursue the monster. If they do, okay. So does that mean you get another attempt to wound? Right? So it says draw another hit location. So I think that means you get another attempt to wound. Let's see. Let's see. I think that's what that is. Okay, well, one thing at a time. We're going to start here. So Bone Blade of 2 strength, So we are wounding on a 5. Let's start with that. Full move the monster towards the attacker, not a problem. If adjacent, colorful smog pours into your mouth, a rush of emotions leaves you blushing. Gain +1 insanity. I will take that. That's the wrong person. And flip your song card face up. Okay. Song of Pain, again. Okay. So that is that. And then we have this one. A crit! The monster crumples with a wheeze. It suffers knockback 4 and is knocked down. All other survivors gain a guilt token. All right, so let's start with this. Knockback 4. It's knocked down. Urza is also knocked down. All other survivors gain a guilt token. That. And you may pursue... Can you move through a knocked down survivor? I don't think you can. But 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can go around Urza and still draw another hit location. Okay. Cool. Okay, so he does have super dense. Neat. So there goes our Bone Blade. And it's impervious. Air whistles as the monster inhales. Its gut expands rapidly with pressurized air. Oh my god, I've screwed myself so hard on this. If adjacent, you suffer bash and knockback 6. Which means this happens, and this happens, and this happens. But I gain +1 insanity. And again, because there's 17 different rules for collision, let me double check again, because I... Okay, no damage, they're just knocked down. Well, that could have gone better. All right, so you stand up. Guiltiest threat. Nobody is guilty. Because you need 3 tokens to be considered guilty. So nobody is guilty. So no target Song of Smog. So 3 spaces away for as many survivors as possible. As soon as their monster is knocked down, if you wound a knockdown Smog Singer this round, gain an additional guilt token. That's probably something we're going to participate in. So 1, 2, 3. Knocked down. 1, 2, 3. Knocked down. And 1, 2, 3. Knocked down. We need to deal damage. I just gotta do it. Oh, and so whenever you wound the monster, you also get a guilt token. So Rahul should have gotten one as well. So Rahul got one, and everybody else got one. I, I got to deal damage. These things, I can't, I have to be aggressive. All right, so good news. All of my folks stand up. All right, so we're going to start with Urza, get her back here, and take care of this ore vein. With a 3. Cool. Good job, Urza. Francisca, just come on over here. So knocked down, you're hitting on 3s, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, hit on 3. Cancel all reactions. Wait a second. They're not still knocked down. Because the knocked down monster stands up at the start of the survivor's turn. How does that work? That's interesting. So maybe if that's like a reaction when that happens? Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm just double checking on the Discord. Because that's weird. Okay, so the way I'm interpreting this then, because Discord is not being of great help either. So they're knocked down, but they still will get up. At the start of the survivor turn. So I wonder how this triggers, like, to actually... Sorry, folks. I know this isn't terribly entertaining, but this one is... Oh. This one's a little confusing to me. Okay, so it does stand up. Like, they're claiming the knockdown is a survival opportunity, but I don't see that. Okay. All right. So I was interpreting that more or less correctly. So yeah, they will all get up. And since they moved away, they're going to be facing this way. So Francisco would be here. And then also the interesting side of this, since this activated 3 times, that means hitting a knocked down Smog Singer would get you 3 additional guilt tokens. That's wild. Okay. So yeah, Francisca hitting on 5s. 1 hit. Wounding on a 6. No wound, so nothing happens here. Alia. She has the hammer, so she's hitting on 6s. No luck. And Rahul and Alia can't, or yeah, that's Alia. Can't really do much of anything, so let's just stick them over here and hang out. Okay. All right. Closest threat. Intimidate. Neat. Okay, this is interesting. Okay. All right, so we're going to start up here. Monster turns to face the target. It extends its arms across its rotund gut, offering its empty hands and lowering its head. Deep down, you feel remorseful. If you have a weapon in your gear grid, gain a guilt token and roll a d10. If the result is less than or equal to your guilt tokens, you question your motives. Select your favorite weapon to be disarmed. Okay. So Alia gets 1. I'm going to need a lot of tokens. I'm pretty sure there's actual guilt tokens. I just grabbed these because they're here. Okay, so 2 or less. Finally, a good time to roll high. So nothing there. This one. Does it actually move? Yeah, turns to face the target. Zana or Rahul doesn't really matter. We'll say Rahul. Nothing. And then this one on Francisca. All right, so nothing happened there. We have got to start dealing damage. My goodness. Okay, next turn, Urza just kind of scoot on out of the way. And keep doing what we're doing, Francisca. Two hits. Okay, so nothing happened. Oh, wait. So this, yeah, the way I'm reading this. So when she wounds, she'll get the 3rd guilt token and make her guilty. Okay. That's also bad. Okay, so we're going to start with this one. Wounding on a 6. Of course, this time she wounds. The only time she wounds is when there's a wound effect. Okay, so she'll get a guilt token. And now she's guilty, so she's going to full move away and suffer 1 brain damage. And I'm fairly certain she does not have any. Yeah. Okay, so this is a brain trauma roll already. Francisca's dead. I... we might be starting this campaign over, y'all. Whatever, you won the monster. That's 2 hits from Alia. Okay. Okay. Nothing bad on this card. All right, so we're going to do this one first. So she's wounding on a 5. Got a wound. Nice. So that's a guilt token for Alia. But nothing else on that card. And again, that's a crit. You crush the monster's throat. It's knocked down. That's actually going to be helpful. Or, yeah, because that other thing isn't in play anymore. Discard all moods in play. There are no moods in play. All right, let's beat up this stupid worm. I need to give her another token. I think you can. Yeah, you can. Okay. I forgot. That is a new thing. Set face to 4. All right, Jana and Rahul, get in there and beat up this worm. So hitting on 3s, 2 hits. All right, first strike. So this isn't a reaction, so this actually is something that's going to happen. So suffer 1 vibration damage. I think that's fine. So who was this again? Jana? Yeah, this was Jana. So she'll just take 1 damage to her waist. That's fine. Yep. Archive all your fragile gear. Nothing's fragile. As we determined, frail and fragile are not the same thing. Okay, so wounding on a 5. I'll take it. And then nothing of note here, but it's another wound. So that is 2 tokens for Jana. I wonder if there was a nice way to put down a die. All right, and Rahul, do the same. Rahul, you freaking loser. I had 1 job. All right, well, I'll take it. That wasn't a bad round. Uh-oh, this is damage. It's okay, it's vibration damage. Okay. So, guiltiest threat. Oh, you stand up now. And you are technically facing this way. So who's the guiltiest? That's going to be Alia, who is... Where the heck? Oh, there she is. So it's going to be 2 damage if it hits. Oh, and vibration damage can't be dodged either. Ugh. All right, well, there's nothing I can do about it. So this will actually be hitting on a 6. No, Alia is not the tank. This will be hitting on a 4. 1, 2, 3 hits, so that's 6 damage to Alia. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, this is going to be bad. 6. The good news is she's knocked down after that. So she is no longer a threat for the next one. Next one is going to target Jana. Oh, and this is going to hit Rahul as well. Oh, no. Actually, I can make this work because it'll be 1, 2, 3 to hit that way and 1, 2. So yes, the shortest distance is right here. Oh no, that's Rahul, not Jana. Okay. I was trying to game the system, but I don't think I can. All right, so Rahul and Jana are both getting hit by this one. So that's 6 damage to each of them. Let's start with Rahul. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Rahul's knocked down. And Jana already took her waste damage. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess 5, 6 is probably the best way to do that. She is knocked down. Starting to regret this +1 damage token. And then this last one doesn't have a target because there's no guilty threats. So, I guess technically Urza has 1 guilt token. She's still not guilty, so he will do Song of Smog, which means he will full move away, and then he'll be knocked down, but he'll stand back up again. All right. So Survivor's turn. Urza just, I don't know, go to this corner. Get ready to run away. I can't believe this. I was told the Smog Singers are easy. So that's our turn. So back around to the Smog Singers. Closest threat. Urza is the only threat. All right, this might actually be good. The Smog Singer full moves towards the target. If adjacent to the target, the monster gingerly embraces them. So they're just going to full move towards Urza, but none of them are going to be able to get to her and nothing's going to happen. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, not the worst outcome. Everybody can stand up now. I guess Urza could have encouraged. She does have 1 survival. I keep forgetting that. Too late now. Okay, damage. We need damage. Hitting on 5s. Neat. Two hits. Okay, so nothing happening there. All right, so we're going to start on this one. Wounding on a 5. Good job, Rahul. Now watch. He's going to wound this one. Yeah. Yeah. See, that's how it works. That's how it works. That's how this game works. This whole freaking game works. If the attacker is guilty, primal fear overtakes them. Full move away from the monster, and they suffer 1 brain damage. And I'm pretty sure Rahul... Oh, Rahul has insanity. Nice. That's right. He did gain insanity earlier. Okay. And then Alia can't get into range, but she'll do her best. That's our turn. All right, so the air quotes good news is there aren't too many actual attacks that deal damage in this deck. There's shit that happens, but I think there's only 2 attacks in here that actually deal damage. Okay, furthest threat in range. Okay, so this is the one where they just teleport and deal brain damage. So I'm going to assume in range still means they have to be within the 6 movement, because they can't just teleport across the board. That's still going to be, I'm going to call it here. So that's 1 more brain damage to Rahul. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So brain damage to, that is Shauna. Okay, and then it's going to have to be Urza. Who should have an insanity. I just didn't note it. Or no, did she already take that? No, she couldn't have. Yeah, she's supposed to have an insanity. So it would go down to 0. All right. What can we do? All right, well, Rahul can get into this blind spot. But we should probably get Jana out of the way in case it runs away. Well, either way, because we can get Jana over there. Jana can take a hit better than Rahul can. Well, whatever. It is what it is. Commit. Doesn't matter. No hits. And then Jana can sneak over here. Yeah, okay. I was wondering if Alia could have gotten into the blind spot, but she can't. All right, that's 2 hits. Did I never dealt the wound for this, did I? I didn't. Then he should be up to 4 guilt tokens. Right? No, because that was the one that got him to 3. Oh, I don't remember. I don't remember. I have to assume I did, unless somebody has been paying attention. So yeah, he's at 3 guilt tokens. I know I gave him the guilt token. I don't remember if I actually dealt the wound. Oh, come on. There we go. I don't think I dealt the wound. I don't remember, though. Is what it is. 2 hits from Jana. Oh, that's terrifying. So we should do this one first. Let's do this one first and see what happens. We fail. But that's okay. So it moves 4 spaces away. Knocking down Rahul. And we can pursue. So the trap's coming up sooner or later anyway. Like, we're getting close. So you might as well just go for it. Oh no, Jana had to spend her movement to get there, so she can't pursue. Oh, I should have done it the other way around, but oh well. Because now we're out of range for that other one. I wasn't thinking. Oh wait, now Alia can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get into this blind spot. And Jana should go up to 4 now. Nope, she failed. Never mind. All right, and Alia hits on 6s, correct? Neat. I love this game. Okay, closest threat. All right, so starting here, that's going to be Alia. So she gets another guilt token. That's not her. Brings her up to 5. All right, so yeah, okay. The result is less than, or no, less than. Okay, we're good. Next one is going to be Alia again. So she's getting another guilt token. Still kicking. And then this one's actually going to choose Urza. So Urza's going to get a second. Right. See, that card I'm fine with. That card is perfectly okay. Rahul stands back up. All right, so Alia, let's come around this way. One hit. Yeah, it was only a matter of time. Smog Singers turn red with anger, their faces contorting in rage. The attacker gains a guilt token. All survivors are doomed. If the attacker used a ranged weapon, full move all Smog Singers toward the attacker. Didn't happen. The attacked Smog Singer begins to sing a harsh tune. The attacker and all survivors in the song zone suffer an emotional breakdown. Okay, so that's going to be Rahul and Alia. All right, well, let's see what that does. Oh, that seems fine. Your atlas joint shifts, your skull cracks loudly, and a new sound rings in your ears. You hear the devil's melody. Choose the result based on your number of guilt tokens. All right, well, we're going to start with Alia, because she was the one that did the wound. She's got a 7. You look on in horror as your fingers transform into weeping Smog Singer heads. Their tears streak into the blood on your hands. Suffer 1 hit for damage equal to your guilt tokens. Okay, well, let's start there. So she's taking 7 damage to her body. So that's most definitely a severe injury roll. Oh, she's dead. Just want to double check that I'm reading this correctly. Yep, she's dead. Because a 2, yeah. We're out of people. Oh no. All right. Well, Rahul, you've only got 3 guilt tokens. You might be okay. If you are singing and the settlement has any music innovations, I guarantee we don't. Nope. So the melody descends like a searing curtain over your body, and your feet blaze into aching motion. Full move away from the monster and suffer 1 brain damage. That's actually okay. I mean, it's not... Oops, that's the wrong one. Oh, man. All right. Well, I mean, we knew that had to happen at some point. Let's 4, 5. Sean, I can get into a blind spot with 2 hits. So we're probably going to do this one first. No wound. And then this one. All right, we got the wound. Monster panics, excreting smog laced with fear hormones from its mini nipples. If the attacker is guilty, which she is, They full move away from the monster and suffer 1 brain damage. Jana, I'm pretty sure that's the wrong button. That is still the wrong button. There we go. Yep, that's a brain trauma to Jana. With a 9. New perspective. You're knocked down and gain 1d10 insanity. I'll take it. 3 insanity to Jana. Do we have Urza start fist and toothing this thing? I think we do. Oh, she's hitting on a 9. No, Urza needs to survive. I mean, if we wipe, this campaign's over anyway, but... Alright, monster turn. Closest threat. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stop there. On a 3+, the target belches gouts of smog and then starts to sing. Flip their song card face up. They are already singing. They gain a guilt token instead. All right, that's not bad. Yep, so that's a guilt token for Rahul. Oh, you're cornered, buddy. That's a guilt token for Rahul. That's actually... we might need to get a song card for Urza. Yes, we do. All right, so Urza starts singing. Remove all your guilt tokens. All monsters gain +1 speed. Neat. We don't have a lot of attacks, thankfully. All right, Jana gets to stand up. Rahul, Rahul, fight back. 1 hit. Nothing bad. Still doesn't wound. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jana can get in range. With 2 hits. Okay. All right, I think this should be the first one. Cool. Jana does get an insanity for her trouble. Flip your song card face up. All right, what's Jana got in here? Another Song of Pain. Okay, well, she does get rid of all of her guilt tokens. That's something. So we are done with this card. Yes. And then this one. A wound. Hooray. We might pull this off somehow. Probably should have just left that there. Hey, landed on a 1. Things are looking up. Tears stream down the monster's serene face. It moves 4 spaces away from the attacker. So Urza gets booped out of the way because it stops here. If the attacker is insane, they cannot help but laugh. All non-deaf survivors gain a guilt token. And she is, unfortunately, insane. I don't think that really matters. That's just flavor. If they're still standing, attacker may pursue, but she already used her movement. Okay. All right, we might have a chance. Closest threat. So this is the Intimidate one again. So both of them are going to target Rahul. So Rahul's going to go up to 7. And eventually 8. I'll just remember the first roll's only for 7. So that one actually didn't do anything. That one does. Okay. Select your favorite weapon to be disarmed. I remember this was a special rule. I think I remember how it is, but we're going to double check. When a survivor suffers disarm or is disarmed, end their attack, place a disarm tile on the attacking weapon and a matching tile 5 spaces away. Right. And it doesn't look like he's going to be getting out anytime soon. Yeah, so we're just going to... It's one of these guys. Oh, there's a bunch of them. You'll be red, sure. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Doesn't look like he's getting there anytime soon anyway, but he'll just fist and tooth backed into a corner, lashing out. And then finally... Thankfully, she just lost all her guilt tokens. And she's still disarmed anyway. You can't be serious right now. Okay, and then I think she just has to walk over there to pick it up. Survivor may not activate their weapon until they remove the tile on the... Okay. When a survivor moves over the associated tile. All right, don't have to spend an action to do it. Just got to move over it. But not really much we could do about that. So Jana's just going to spend her turn. Oh, I guess Urza gets up. Picking that up. And Rahul's just going to start swinging. Hitting on an 8. Gets a hit. It's the fucking... All right. Gains another guilt token. Goes up to 9. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Rahul might be out of it. If you are singing, okay. The smog singer faces spread over your body, biting you relentlessly. The harrowing ordeal gives rise to malice. Suffer damage equal to your guilt tokens to a random hit location. Oh, this isn't going to be good. Okay. So he's taking 9 damage to his body. And what that means, obviously, that's going to be a severe injury roll. And because of Song of Pain, He's going to roll a 1. Well, let's see. He might roll a 10. He might roll a 10. He did not roll a 10. Rahul is dead. All right, I think we're cooked. Let's play it out. You never know. Okay. So in range, yeah, I think it still happens. Okay, it's just a targeting thing. So Jana's in bad shape here. Oh, she has insanity. She has insanity. Guessing that's gonna happen. Then that's gonna happen. Urza's taking a brain wound. Poor Urza's just trying to get out of here. All right, we're still kicking. We are still kicking. Jana, you can get into a 2, 3, 4. She can't even get into a blind spot. All right, well, let's at least... Oopsie. Let's at least work on that. No hits. Wouldn't have mattered anyway. 2, 3, 4. All right, let's just do it. Urza hitting on 9s. Yeah, no shot. Might as well take a step over. Maybe she can get into the blind spot next turn. Okay. All right. So first one on Jana. She gains a guilt token. Nothing happens. And then on Urza, that's another guilt token for her. All right, let's keep going. We can get into some blind spots at least. You can't be serious right now. Oh, God. Yeah. Okay. So I think this is just going to be a slow march towards defeat again. It's like we're not even taking damage. This is so... Oh. All right, so the good thing is nothing happens to Urza because she doesn't even have a weapon. And then, okay, so this is going to go up to 6. So the first roll is based on a 5. Good. No, not good. She's disarmed again. Oh, well, we'll just use this one. I think she's just going to fist and tooth the rest of this fight anyway. Oh, I still got to deal with this. Right. All right, Jana. Should be hitting on 7s. Yeah. And Urza will be hitting on 8s. At this point, I don't even know how we actually lose. It's just going to be from brain trauma, right? So Jana's down to nothing, and that's a brain trauma on Urza. With a 9, knocks down and gains some insanity. Get 3 insanity for her trouble. All right, and then we just do this dance again. One hit. So she's going to be wounding on a 7. She gets a crit. Okay, we're in here. We're not done yet. I'm not giving up. I need to give up. This is terrible. The attack breaks something cherished. Gain a whistle tooth. The monster's red and steaming there. They gain +1 damage. That actually doesn't matter because there's no more actual damaging abilities. Whistle tooth. Oh, it's right there. Oh. Cool. Getting stuff done. Urza should have stood up, right? No, she got knocked down on that turn. Okay. We can somehow pull this off. All right, so we're doing the bouncing again. Okay, so go here. All right, so that's a... Oh, this is going to be brain traumas for days. Okay. With a 5, 1 damage to yourself, and gain a 1d5 insanity in a random disorder. 2 insanity. All right, so she's somehow going to survive. Random disorder. She's got hyperactive. During the showdown, you must move at least 1 space every round. Okay. That's not where you go. And she takes 1 damage to her waist, which is a severe injury roll. With a 3, she's alive. 2 bleeding tokens. And then we do the hopsy daisies. So we'll put 1 here and 1 here, I guess. So there goes her 2 insanity she just got, but she's alive and standing. Urza does stand up. So I think what we could do is we could do 1, 2, 3, 4. No, we can't. Okay, so instead, I guess we'll stop here and get no hits. And Urza... Oh, is this one facing the wrong way? Nope, it was facing the right way. Urza's just not registering as being in his blind spot. That's weird. But she is, I promise you. Not like it matters. All right. All right, so literally nothing happens here because nobody has weapons in their gear grid. I mean, oh, I guess, yeah, we're okay because all this would have happened earlier. So we're just gonna do this. I mean, the thing is, like, I don't see how we lose this fight. It's just gonna be a while. So Jana can do a little do-si-do to pick up her weapon. I'll hold on to that because I'm sure I'll need it. So this founding stone is still knocked down somewhere over here. Whatever. She won't be able to use it. That was from a previous turn. I just forgot about it. Okay. So now she can swing with her actual weapon, which is slightly better. Still not getting any hits. And Urza, you don't really have a good place to be, so you might as well... Oh, no. You can go here. Blind spots have turned off for some reason. Urza gets a hit! The monster attempts to use... okay, so she's going to take 1 vibration damage. That's fine. So she's wounding on a big ol' 7. Yeah. We're going to play this out. It's the disarm thing again. Yeah. So honestly, I should have just left her fist in 2 thing, but okay. So I'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the only one we really care about. Okay, so the play here. Urza comes around this way. Gets another hit. She's doing stuff. With -2 accuracy. Okay, so she's literally impossible to hit. Or no, yeah, she would be hitting on an 11. Okay, that's fine. I'd rather that happens to Urza than Jana. Gets a hit. No wound. Jeez. She gets an insanity for her trouble. That's the wrong person. Okay. She's already singing. Okay. Yep. Just keep the train rolling. So the good news is I think we have 2 of... No, we only have one. Yeah, okay. So we have... Wait, do we really have... Oh, it was... It's doing that thing again where if I hit tab too quick, it grabs the wrong one. Yeah, so this is the hop over one. So, hop, hop, and hop. I'll say it that way. So that's 1 on Jana and 2 on Urza. That's fine. This is so dumb. Jana cannot get into a blind spot. Whatever, just stay there. Urza will in a minute. Jana rolls 2 lanterns. Okay. That's right. Technically, Jana has to move. So our hyperactive thingy. All right, so either way, it's going to run away. So it doesn't really matter. Well, no, I guess we do this one first, because if we fail, we can get a second shot. Okay, well, that was a wound, so I'll take that. And now that wound that I don't remember if I dealt it or not is going to come back to bite me. All right, so I was just going to move. And then, whoops. That other one is canceled. All right, and Urza. Yeah, she's doing her best. Wait a second. No, she's blind. That's right. Okay. I knew deaf was a thing earlier, and I was pretty sure she wasn't. All right, we only have one AI card left, and it's the bad one. All right, so we'll do this one, which means a brain trauma on Urza, or I'm sorry, not on Urza, on Jana. With an 8. Random disorder and D5 insanity. So 1 whole insanity. And this time she gets a telephobia. There are no perfect hits in your attack except for 1 brain damage. Yep, that's wonderful. And then this one will go after Urza. She has an insanity. And then this one, Urza is not in range, so it will be Jana. Alrighty. So we need to get that thing out of here. Start off with Jana, I guess. Gets a hit. Oh, but she will take 1 brain damage. So before we get to that, we got to roll on the table again. With a 2. All right, she's dead. All right, so where we're at now, we could have Urza retreat and go back, but with a wipe in year 1 and year 2, our first Dreamkeeper campaign is done. Let's just be honest. No sense dragging this out. So, gonna take a short break. And when I come back, we're gonna start over again. So, yeah, that was catastrophic. I just can't deal damage. My damage rolls are hilariously bad. I was told the Smog Singers were easy. I was lied to. All right. Hang out for just a few, folks. Be back in just a bit.